soon as possible to a website where you can register your.
So we were a little frightened because we heard that SWAT was here. Hi. But you know what? Like as soon as we got here, it was just like, yes, we're here. This is beautiful, beautiful day. Like we got gorgeous weather. Poor New Yorkers have rain. LA's got rain. I mean, it's just the energy is phenomenal.
I'm just really happy today to see so many people in our generation out here finally standing up. It's been such a hard time to even get people to vote, but we're finally here together, unifying as a people, standing up for what's right. So
I'm against establishment, bro.
Yeah.
Everything is fucked up.
Yeah.
We gotta fix this thing. So they have to count us, right?
Sure.
So we're here to make the presence.
And so what would you like to see changed? What would you like to see?
Everything, bro.
Yeah.
Everything is upside down. The pyramid has to go down. We're gonna be on the top.
All right.
All right? That's what I think.
I'm here because of corporate corruption that has completely infiltrated our legal system and our governments. I'm here to protect the next generation from this happening again. I'm here because I believe people need to take back control of the government that is supposed to represent us. I think we've maybe forgotten that.
It's not just online. They're understanding that you have to have that physical presence. It's the two together that's extremely positive. So it's wonderful to sit here. When I got together with these people, I realized, we're going to have a lot of good friends out of this crowd. We're getting to know people. We're learning each other's work styles. And it's just very, very powerful. Where it goes, I don't know. But I can tell you this, it's going somewhere. And that's what's the excitement. I mean, just kind of a couple of months ago, I was at a christening in a church. And I had to say, I saw this little kid, and I felt sorry for the kid. I feel sorry for any kid coming into the world now. And I remember thinking to myself, this kid is going to damn us for what we let happen. And for the first time, and I said to myself, man, that is some bleak despair you're embracing, my friend. This is hard to live with. And I feel hope again. So that's why I'm here.
Well, I'd like to see change. I'm just tired of this invisible war being fought against people, and, I'm ready for a big change. Everyone's coming around here trying to say, hey, this is the way things are, this is the way they have been, and that's not the way it should be.
Well, I'm pretty interested in the fact that all these people in Austin have come out for a sort of ambiguous cause. Austin's usually a pretty chilled out town, and there aren't that many things that I see people protesting about, so I was just kind of curious what would draw the crowd. And I find it really fascinating that people are holding signs about a variety of causes. It's not really just one theme. Some people have free love signs, some people have signs about Wall Street, some people are just I don't know, tooting their own horns. So I think it's a pretty good reflection of how postmodernism has really defined our generation.
I'm here because I'm 75 years old and I feel the great urge to join with these people much younger. Their cause reminds me very much of the civil rights movement of the 60s, of the labor protests that went on all through the 20th century, and of the protest movement of the indigenous forces of discontent that have been going on throughout American history. It is truly an uprising of the forces of indigenous discontent and against establishment domination of both parties. By establishment, I mean Wall Street and corporate America and the business elites at the city hall and county court level. That's why I'm here.
It was really apparent to me that the political climate that we're living in is bought and paid for, and that's not acceptable. I mean, we're a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, so why aren't the people doing anything? And, I recently lost my job. I'm an IT professional. I used to work for Apple. I went to work for a consultant, and I mean, it's just like one thing after the next, like high out-of-state tuition. I moved back to Denver to go help my grandma out. I took over a car payment, and I watched her Social Security checks get cut. She was receiving around $900 a month, and they got cut to about $600. I'm like, what is this? You're taking money from old ladies? And, a semester at community college as an out-of-state resident was as much as a year at UT for an in-state Texas resident. So I moved back to Texas and, still looking for work, and then out of nowhere, all this starts happening, and just kind of walked into it. I'm like, you know what, I got nothing but time on my hands, so I'm going to use it the most productive way I know how. Yeah.
Here I'm kind of upset with the corporations being viewed as people and being able to make these gross, huge donations to political parties. It means our political parties and our people that we elect aren't actually representing the people anymore, they're representing the corporate interest. I'm kind of done with it. Thumbs down.
I think that's a big part of our Constitution and our rights is the people's voice. And the whole idea of our government and everything that's going on is it's all supposed to be working for us. We're supposed to be the biggest cog in the wheel. What interests me about this is I think it's great. I think that there's obviously something defunct and dysfunctional about what's going on with our financial system and our economy. I don't know that we have the solution totally figured out, but the fact that people are getting together and getting up and talking about it instead of just letting this stuff slide by. I mean, everything that happened with the mortgage and lending debacle and, just the financial state of the country right now happened primarily because we're not holding each other accountable on what's going on, and how we spend our money and how things are done, how business is done in this country. And people need to wake up and get back to basics.
I'm not happy with what's happening on Wall Street. I don't agree with what everyone here is saying, but I'm for people getting together and I guess speaking for a percentage of the American people. I don't think that this speaks for the whole 99%.
I am a mother of 3 daughters, attempting to raise them in a broken system. I have gone through, I was previously an activist when the war started, 10, 11 years ago, when this war started. And I had a radio show at that point. I was very, very involved in my community in Houston. So for 3.5 years, I was out there fighting the fight on the airwaves and doing what I could at every, at every protest there was. And I feel like I fell into a place of complacency, and activism became like a lover that had beat me to death. I felt wronged by it. We didn't get anywhere with the movement. The war is still going on. Definitely grappled with depression for a long time. But watching Occupy Wall Street woke me up again. And I'm able to say, okay, I'm going to go back to this lever again and see if we can work it out. It's possible. I may get something out of it this time because there's enough people standing out here. There weren't this many people out here across the world and the country at that point that were upset about it. And this is exactly what I've been saying for forever has got to happen for anything to change. It's a feeling of really, really true new hope. We all, got this little bitty taste of it when Obama was coming out. And we're like, well, maybe something's going to change here, and nothing has. From the people that he's put on his cabinet to, nothing's changed. This is how it's going to change, and that's why I'm here, because it takes numbers.
I wanted to come down and just kind of see what was going on, and you know, I stand in solidarity with all the people that are frustrated, and I'm ready to make things happen, and I've been trying to do my part to educate people too. So I was kind of hoping I'd come down here and just kind of get a feel for what people were actually thinking, and you know, where they felt like this movement was actually going, and what they felt like they could accomplish by coming down here. That's why I came down.
Your everyday life, and we've got to start coordinating our actions in making them accountable. Right now, they answer only to themselves.
I would just like to see, you know, more jobs for those who don't have them, you know, more involvement out there by people that are complaining, saying they don't like the way things are, but then they keep buying into the corporate greed machine and just being content with their miserable lives. I'd just like to see people get up and take action.
Well, I'd like to see more awareness from the public to begin with. So I'm already starting to see the things that I want to see change. I'm seeing people out here and being aware and talking to each other and making friends and doing open mic. And mostly I'd like to see, politically, I'd like to see corporations, I'd like to have their personhood status taken away. I'd like them to be held responsible. I don't want them getting out of their taxes.
Yeah.
And that all requires our politicians to start representing us.
I mean, I'd really love for people just to pay attention to us. Like, it's about time. Occupy Wall Street's been out there long enough that, you know, I hope people are finally noticing and paying attention, hopefully making some changes, because laws that they're making actually affect our lives more than they affect theirs. So
you really can't say and pick one or two things when there needs to be a complete fundamental restructuring of how things are working right now. I mean, it goes from, people will say, well, we need to end the central banking, but I mean, let's start with financing campaigns. Let's start by putting term limits on some of our congressmen. I mean, put it to you this way, if Al Capone paid a senator, you'd call that senator corrupt. What's the difference if JP Morgan or Al Capone pay them? I mean, it's not the voice that's speaking, it's the dollar signs. And that's really what I would like to see change, is that people regain their voice and have some variety in the government, you know? Yeah.
And the Fed would be nice. Yeah, I think that would take care of a lot of problems right away. But more specifically than that, local action, people taking local political action, I think would make a big difference. We need to work on bottom up instead of top down for once.
Ending the Fed, the Federal Reserve, the ability of a handful of individuals to actually define what money is and what it isn't is something that needs to go. I mean, you guys probably know that the Federal Reserve creates money at interest, charges we the people that interest, and there's only enough money in circulation to pay back the principal, but never enough money to actually pay back the principal plus interest. So we go perpetually in debt from that. We become a slave, and that's why the handful of people are able to kick people out of their homes. They're slowly but surely taking ownership of everything in this country, and soon it'll be everything within the world, because they have control of land, they have control of energy, fundamentally what we utilize as energy, and that all needs to go. It needs to end.
It is truly an uprising of the forces of indigenous discontent and against establishment domination.